DJ, producer, remixer, Chicago, and Terry Hunter is up for a Grammy this year for Best Remix Recording. Fingers crossed that third time's a charm. Terry, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here, man. Glad to be
Awesome.
here.
You're up for the remix for Mariah Carey's Workin Hard, which was a newly discovered track.
The song was unreleased. It was an unreleased song that was produced by the late great CNC Music Factory, obviously in the 90s. And I think it was a song that she never, put out or put on her album. And it was just crazy because I originally was doing another song for her, and they was like, you know what? I think he'll be great. See if he'll try this one. And then I heard it and it was like, okay, I get it. Let's make it happen. And here we are.
Because it's the 30th anniversary of Music Box, and I've been thinking about you as the other song that you remixed as well too.
Yes, that was a great song. That was the first song that they called me on to do because that was a part of the Music Box album, and it just was so funny. They loved the remix, and then when I went into, like I said, I'm working hard, it was just a situation to where I was like, wow, like she sounds so current. Like the music definitely has the feel of CNC Music Factory, that 90s flow, and the tones and the stems and the drums has that 90s feel, but Mariah sounds like Mariah, like she could have sung that yesterday. You know what I mean? And so that just shows you how timeless she is as an artist.
Let's talk a little bit about creating the remix for Workin Hard. Did you want to make it kind of like something of the time of 1993 or something current of like, 2023, 2024, or like a mix of both? Like, what was your first like thing that you thought of like before getting into that remix?
So yeah, absolutely. When I heard it again, I fell in love with the vocals because her power, her depth as an artist and a singer is short of amazing. And it was funny. It was a scat line that's in the record. Is da 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 da, and that kind of threw me off because it was very, for all my old school like funk soul heads, it was very Blackbird-ish. The song was called Rock Creek Park, and that's kind of what it reminded me of, but the music was nothing like Rock Creek Park. And so I said, I'm gonna try something different, but I definitely wanted to bring it into today's style and form of music. And I said, that's what they were calling me for. They didn't really want, a yesterday's type of a sound. They wanted what I do now, and I was really honored for that. But my approach, I was telling a couple of people that I didn't start, because normally when you get the vocals, you do a remix, you start, there's the intro, then there's, the verse, chorus, bridge, etc. I was so inspired from Mariah's ad-libs on the record, I started working on the record back to front. So I connected with the ad-libs mostly at the end of the song, and then just kind of worked back to the front of the song. So it was a different way of doing it, but that's how I was inspired. So the idea of the bass and the chords with me and my keyboard player Ivory came up with it. We just worked backwards. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's dope. Let's leave that as a change. All right, let's work on the chorus. All right, let's work on the verse, and then we just build it from that way. So it was very different, but I knew it was something special because it was just telling me this is how you got to do this. Don't do it the traditional way.
That is amazing. Tell me what it was like to see the fan reaction to the song and ultimately getting the nomination for the Grammy.
Man, just getting people's reaction. Like, so I have a group of people, right, that normally is around me that they love me for me, right? So they're never gonna come in if it's my DJing set or me making records. Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's dope, Terry. Nah, my hardest critics, and one of them I got to give a big shout out to my brother Wayne Williams. And Wayne is, his name precedes itself, one of the biggest A&Rs to ever do this. And I remember him coming over to the studio, and he heard the other one, and he was like, "Oh man," he was like, "I love this. This is dope, yeah." And then I played him Workin Hard, and 2 minutes into the record, he was in the studio jumping around. This the one. And then everybody that heard it told me the same thing. And it was just kind of funny because we do a big festival in Chicago, Chosen Few Picnic, every year in July. And I was nominated last year for Beyonce, and I actually broke Beyonce playing it at the 2023 Chosen Few Picnic. And the alignment of this remix was perfect I got to premiere it at the Chosen Few picnic the following year, which was last year, and the reaction was insane. So I really wasn't expecting a nomination because when I did the record, the album 30 years ago came out in November. So I finished the record in the summer, and they was like, oh yeah, we're not gonna drop it till like November, whatever. And I knew that would be past the Grammy submission deadline. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I wasn't even thinking about anything this year. And then I got a text from another good friend of mine, musician friend, James Poyser, who was a part of The Roots and produced for Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, the whole nine. And he was like, yo, congratulations. And I'm like, on what? He was like, yo, Mariah just posted the playlist to the Music Box album. And I see you got 2 joints on there. And this was September. And I was like, huh? I'm like, this wasn't supposed to come out until November. So then he sent it to me. And then I went to Mariah's page. I was like, oh, wow. So the record came out, knew it was coming out. And then obviously November, you know, I wasn't thinking, you know, anything. And, you know, I'm just watching the announcements like everybody else. But what threw me off was this year, last year, 23, when they announced the Grammys, they do it online and they do everything, but they only did the televised event nominations. Once that finished, you then had to go online to see who was nominated for all the other categories. And so my phone wasn't blowing up. I didn't hear anything. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't find it. And then one of my good friends, Danielle, called me. She was like, you did it again. Oh my God, congratulations. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, the Mariah. I'm like, stop, where? She was like, go to LAtimes.com. LA Times is the first one to post a full nomination. And I'm like, whatever. She was like, it's on there. And then literally, because I couldn't find it, it took people a minute to get to the rest of the nominations, and then phones started blowing up again. So,
and I also love that you have a nice circle of friends that are always looking out for you, whether it's nominations or social media posts. I just love that.
Absolutely, man. So it was really dope. I promise you, I was just as shocked as the Beyonce.
Let's talk a little bit about Mariah, and then we'll talk about Beyonce. As far as like, did you get a chance to meet her? Do you know how you were the chosen one? You know, as far as this remix goes, or the 2 remixes go.
But for Mariah, yeah. So it was crazy. I got a good friend, big shout to Leslie Doyle. She was working with Sony Music, and they were talking about different remixers, and she put my name forward. And one of the A&Rs at Sony was, what she told me, was a massive fan of my work. And he was like, oh my God, yes, this will be a match made in heaven. And so we worked out the, handled the business, did the deal. And as soon as I let Mariah hear it, she loved it, like literally loved it. So then she ended up doing a post on her Instagram showing like, hey, this record was produced in 93. Here's the original. And then now here's the Terry Hunter remix. So Mariah was all for it, man. And a big thing happened. I went to check out her Christmas tour, her show in Chicago. She invited me out and we were supposed to meet and something happened. I mean, literally, I'm backstage waiting for her to come out. Something happened and we didn't get to meet in person, but she shot me an email and told me she appreciated me. But it was cool because she rolled out the red carpet when I came to the show in Chicago. Seats right up front, passes, the whole nine. It was good.
Awesome. That was a fun show. I was at that show too, and like just seeing everybody out, like multi-generational, all in their holiday gear. Like it was such a fun show, and she
absolutely
killed it.
She killed it. She absolutely killed it. I loved it.
Let's talk a little bit about Beyonce and getting on that remix for "Break My Soul," because she gave a shout out to her uncle who inspired her and house music, and definitely a different generation of fans. We have our, I'm a Chicagoan, you're a Chicagoan. This is music we grew up with, but maybe people from other parts of the country who maybe didn't have that same upbringing got a new appreciation for our style of music.
Yes, absolutely. Like, she's done remixes before, dance stuff, and I knew she was into it, and it was just funny. I know you guys were talking with Allison, but I was doing the streaming, so obviously, we got into the streaming because of the pandemic, and it was doing really well. So I get a call, and I see the gentleman that was calling me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna call him back. Like literally, I'm in the middle of the stream. I got hundreds of people in my stream. So I told my guy, I was like, yo, go to another scene, take me off camera. So he did, because he kept calling back, and I picked up the phone and I'm like, yo, what's going on? Damien, this particular gentleman, used to manage Jennifer Hudson, right? And so how you bring this full circle, what's ironic, I'm in the mindset that he's still working with Jennifer Hudson. So I'm like, yo, what's going on, man? And he was like, oh, man, you busy? I was like, oh, it's all good. I'm in the middle of a stream. Can I call you back? He was like, okay. He's like, no problem. Make sure you hit me back. I'm like, so what's going on? We getting the band back together? Meaning Jennifer Hudson. You know what I mean? Because that's who I got my first nomination with for a song, It's Your World, I produced for her. And which was also funny, I went to the Grammys, and I think it was best, I don't remember the category, but Beyonce was in there, and we lost to Beyonce for that record. And so he says to me, no, we're not getting the band together, not quite, but got something else for you. I'm like, yeah, what you doing? He's like, well, I'm managing Beyonce, her music, and we talked about you doing a remix to Break My Soul. I'm pretty sure you heard that song. I was like, yeah. I've heard the song. I heard about it. Yeah.
So trying to play it cool.
Yeah. Now, I'm not playing it cool. So he said, hey, go finish the stream and call me right back. So we hang up the phone. I tell my guy, I said, yo, show is over. That like, peace out, everybody. I gotta go. Sorry. Like, yo, let's do it. Whatever. Ended the show and called him back. And he was like, look, here are the stems. No one has them. We would love for you to do a remix of Break My Soul, blah, 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 blah. And I got so inspired. That night, I did a rough draft of it, sent it to Damien, and he hits me back. Yo, this is crazy. This is exactly what we were looking for. This is fire. This is absolutely crazy. And then he's showing me texts that emails from Beyonce like, oh my God, I love it. Don't change a thing. Let's go with that. Boom. That's how it happened.
That's amazing. And especially, let's talk a little bit about the Chosen Few picnic, because you see 30,000 plus people out there dancing, living their best life, enjoying music that they grew up with, or just, an activity of like connecting with other people, through this music in Chicago. What's it like looking out into the crowd? But then also when you're creating remixes, are you thinking of all those people, like what is going to keep them dancing as far as like in your process?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm a DJ first, you know what I mean? And so that's what I got to, inspired, years ago making records. And, that's just a thing to where you take that DJing and your status to another level is those records that you produce. And so for me, especially in the summertime when we coming in the Chosen Few, because it's a different feel in the winter and the fall. So it's like all of this stuff that you're doing, you like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? And a lot of the stuff, I'm paying attention to my dance floor, not just at Chosen Few, but all over the world, because I'm fortunate enough to play in a lot of different countries, and certain people like certain things. You got to know what they like, what they react to, what they don't. But Chosen Few, man, is just special because, again, I travel all over the world for a living with DJing, and to see the world through music is an amazing thing. It's beautiful. And normally you would have to go to another country and maybe, small cases in another state to experience something of this magnitude that we have right on our home floor. Yeah. And it's sort of amazing to see 40,000 people screaming your name, vibing to a genre that we birthed right here. So you're playing new records that they've never heard and reacting, and then playing some of their favorites that they grew up on. It's honestly, I can attest and say it. Every festival I've done and played at has been amazing, but Chosen Few is special. It's special.
Such a staple here in the Chicagoland area, and a lot of people, they get that date and they plan their summer around it because it is so iconic. So if you've not, hopefully you've had a chance to check it out, especially some of the people here,
absolutely,
who are watching, because it's such an amazing time.
No, it's an amazing time, and that's the one thing that I love about it. is that we're now bringing the world to Chicago to witness where this music started. I mean, we're getting so many people from London, from Japan, from Australia, to, I mean, you name it, they're coming. Canada, they're coming to Chicago. They have to experience it, and it's just really dope to see. This is in our backyard.
You're having a Grammy send-off party. Tell me a little bit about
Yes,
that and what's that all going to be.
Absolutely. So we're celebrating the 40th year of house music. Happy anniversary to house music, 40 years. So I just decided, we're doing another Grammy send-off party. I think it's amazing. I want to celebrate it with my city and share it with the world. And, that's just nothing to be frowned upon on, to be back to back at the Grammys with two of the biggest female artists on this planet. And I'm a humble guy, and that's just kind of like my team. Like, nah, we celebrating all the wins. And so we're putting together another event. It's going to be at the Promontory in Chicago in Hyde Park. But what we're doing something a little special. We're adding a panel discussion to the party before we get into the party, just to kind of celebrate 40 years of house music. So I'm still kind of like, wow. I have Frederick Dunson, that represents the Frankie Knuckles Foundation, that will be in attendance and on the panel. I have Robert Williams. Robert Williams, for those that don't know, is the guy that opened the warehouse and brought Frankie Knuckles to Chicago from New York. And he also discovered Ron Hardy in the Music Box. And then I have Chippy, that is arguably, people saying he's made one of the first house records ever. I have him on the panel. Myself is being moderated by myself and Grammy Award winner Maurice Joshua. I have Lady D on there, and I'm forgetting a couple other people. Forgive me, but I have Joe Shanahan, which is the owner of Metro, the club that's been a house staple, and he's been here from the beginning and is still open. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're just going to get down to just the history of house music and really educate some of our people that really didn't know these informations that these guys hold in their heads and what they've experienced.
And sharing those wonderful stories. And I'm sure 40 years feels like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and especially coming off of the hip hop 50 celebration. And then it was brought to my attention. I didn't realize it, but apparently this is disco's 50th anniversary. So now you're going to start seeing a lot of stuff about that. So this is just an amazing year, man.
A lot of wonderful opportunities to celebrate these iconic genres of music. Final thing here, let's talk a little bit about going out to LA for the award ceremony, parties, what you're going to wear. Tell me who you're going with. Tell me all about it.
Oh, yeah. Listen, man, I'm excited. I'm actually going out to LA on, I believe, the 29th on a Monday. I'm going to get there just to kind of relax, soak in. And then Tuesday, I'm a part of a panel there, shameless plug. I'm an executive producer of a documentary. If you haven't checked it out, it's called In Our DNA Hip House. I did it with 300 Music along with my man Kelly G, DJ Immaculate, and it is on Comcast Xfinity. So go check it out. But we're having a situation with that where we're showing the episodes and telling everybody to go to Comcast and watch it. The next day, I'm doing a Grammy party, and I'm doing another panel. So I got my brothers Jazzy Jeff, Grammy Award winner Jay Ivy, and we're going to Deion Cole is going to be in the panel. So we got some celebrities, superstars, and then we kick right into Grammy weekend, man. And I got my family going out. I got a bunch of friends that's coming to support me this year. We claiming victory. And for me, win, lose, or draw, I've won because it's been amazing 2 years with this. And man, we're going to celebrate and we're going to bring this back to Chicago no matter what. We look amazing right now. House music looks amazing, and I'm excited, man.
Well, we are also proud of you. Fingers crossed, third time's a charm.
Thank you.
Workin Hard, Mariah Carey, the Terry Hunter remix. Fingers crossed. I'm going to be rooting for you from my chair at home.
Thank you so much, Reese. Thank you.
Yeah, but no matter what happens, still so proud of you. You got to this point, and I'm glad that you're taking like the whole week to still get into all those different events. And I cannot wait to watch your social media and see this journey.
Please pay attention. Yes, watch it. Every move I make, I'm gonna capture it. So it's gonna be exciting. Absolutely.
That is awesome.
I need you to do me one favor though.
Go ahead.
When we win, we coming right back here, and we're going to celebrate. And I'm going to tell you my experience for Grammy week when I was there. How about that?
100%. Yes, please, let's make that happen.
Let's do it. Thank you so
Jerry,
much,
you're the best.
man.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Take care, man. Peace, everybody.
Peace.